Well, I was diagnosed on Thursday, the 6th of October 2016, and it was my GP that diagnosed me. But I had been contacted on the Monday by the haematology department here in the local Altnagalvin area hospital. And although they phoned me and established who I was, they weren't prepared to tell me why they wanted to see me, but they made an appointment with me to see me as urgently as possible. And it was only then, when I went to the GP, that I was told I had haemochromatosis. And I can just remember thinking, what is haemochromatosis? And I can remember saying, in response to it, well, whatever it is, I'll work through it. I'll do it. I'll work with it. His response to me was, I know nothing about this, but the haematology unit in Altnagalvin will be in touch with you to arrange an appointment. And then I responded to him by saying, you're too late, because they already have been in touch. And his response back to me was, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that serious. So we're here now, 8 years down the line from that. But that was my experience of being first told and first hearing of haemochromatosis.
And that has to be quite a scary thing, especially
when
I don't really know what it is that...
There was part of me to be relieved that finally I had been told, you have a disease, there is something wrong with you, or something that's not quite correct with you. So, in a way, I had peace within myself to say, well, that's what's been happening, because beforehand, I had just known that there was something had to be happening to me. I wasn't getting older, or I hadn't anything what I determined to be serious. I just I first felt different, and I knew there was something had to be happening. And in that particular year, my GP refers to my final diagnosis of haemochromatosis as an opportunist blood test. But it wasn't an opportunist blood test. It was a routine blood test, because the previous blood tests had indicated an acceleration or a heightening of certain tests that needed to be further investigated.
And what's been the most difficult thing for you in dealing with it? Do you get a lot of physical...
Well, I still deal with a lot of fatigue. The fatigue is terrible, and it's on a daily basis, and sometimes even it can be twice a day. And what the fatigue does to me, I can feel the fatigue coming. I know it's going to happen. And the only relief I can achieve from it is to get into bed. I have to go to bed. Well, on a bad day, I would generally stay in bed. I don't feel the need. I don't have any hunger for food. I keep the liquid up, but I would just try to rest as much as possible. And generally within a 24-hour period or a 48-hour period, I would regain some form of normal feeling, and then I would go again. Just you must be prepared to go again. You have to. Don't let it win.
And so then, on a good day.
On a good day, I look forward to and look back on the good days whenever the days aren't so good, because those are treasured. Those are treasured days, and you try to plan a normal lifestyle as possible, and you can only be hopeful that those days that you've planned are going to be your good days.
Is there anything else that you want to share?
I do want to say, even though I have had it now for 8 years, I've had major surgery on 3 of my joints, and I have never regretted it. They have improved my life, and I know, even though I'm not finished with orthopedics and people poking and looking at me, I still feel it's the way to do. It's the road to go, because as well as educating yourself, I feel you're educating them as well, because they can see firsthand through their diagnostics, through their scans, through their x-rays, the damage that hemochromatosis is doing, and the secondary osteoarthritis that can be so harmful and damaging to people. Because I worked manually all my life previously and used my hands, I had begun to notice that my hands were swelling up, in particular my right hand. And although my GP had sent me in February of that year, 2019, to a specialist clinic where part of the growth on my hand was removed, and a biopsy revealed nothing other than being non-malignant. What I had decided to do then was to go privately to a rheumatologist. And when the rheumatologist saw me and inspected me, he said, "I think you need to see an orthopedic surgeon to do with small limbs and joints." And I made a private appointment to see him. And when I went to see him weeks later, he told me, again, "You have hemochromatosis, and this, and your hand is hemochromatosis." So because I had only met him, I asked him why he was so sure that it was hemochromatosis that was affecting my hand and in my fingers. And he said it was because of the location. And he could see that the joint had completely worn away, and that there were spurs occurring on my joints